People will always wonder and ask, why hasn't corn been banned yet? Why are they still over here pushing out and not banning processed and fast foods, even though everybody should intuitively know and understand how these things are not good for you? Why is it the fact that they love to push out people on the social media algorithm that are doing nothing but damaging the minds of the collective consciousness? People that know how to do nothing but just push out degeneracy. A lot of people are always wondering, why is this the case? Why haven't they banned porn? Everybody knows that that stuff isn't good for you, but they haven't banned it. Everybody knows processed and fast foods aren't good for you, but they haven't banned it. Why is this the case? People will always wonder and ask, and I've been one of them, right? It just comes to an understanding where it's like, why haven't they banned corn yet? Why haven't they banned any processed foods or fast foods? Even though everybody should intuitively know and understand how these things have never been good for your overall well-being. Why do they love to push out people on the social media algorithm that are doing nothing but damaging the minds of the collective consciousness of people that are doing nothing but pushing out degeneracy 24/7, right? Why are these things allowed? Is fast food allowed? Why is processed food allowed? Why haven't they banned corn yet? Why are they pushing out people on the mainstream algorithm and mainstream media that are damaging the minds of the collective consciousness of the people? It's because they want you stuck at a low level of consciousness. Why is it that they've taken so much effort? They've taken so much effort, into spreading a bunch of misinformation, into a bunch of lies, and most importantly, lying to us just about how literally life works, right? Whether if we're talking about business, finances, school, education and knowledge, and most importantly, lied to us about history, right? Why is it that they've taken all of their effort into making us having to live literally the worst lives imaginable, the worst lives possible? It's simply because they want you stuck at a low level of consciousness. That way they can feed off of your negative energy. And so for the people that want to cope talking about, no, they don't, they want the best for us. Okay, cool. So then why haven't they banned corn yet? Why haven't they banned processed foods and also fast foods worldwide? And most importantly, why do they love to push out people that are doing nothing but damaging the minds of the collective consciousness? And more importantly, they're damaging the minds of the youth. Why do they have to lie about history? And most importantly, why do they have to misinform us about everything that there is when it comes to life, business, education, finances, school, history, anything? It's because they want you stuck at a low level of consciousness. And the reason for this is simply due to the fact that if you are continuously stuck at a low level of consciousness, you will never be able to achieve the life it is that you want to be able to live and achieve for yourself. And bro, Nero Knowledge had literally explained this the best. He said, how can you ever expect to receive something from heaven when you're still in the mental capacity or the mental state of being of hell? And it's 100% true. This is why they haven't banned processed foods yet. This is why they haven't banned corn yet. This is exactly why they have to lie and misinform the public about history or what's going on in the news or what's actually truly going on, the true meaning behind these events. And most importantly, this is why they have to hire agents and push out people on the social media algorithm that are doing nothing but damaging the minds of the collective consciousness of the people, most importantly, the youth. This is why they're doing all these things, so that you could stay at a low level of consciousness, so that you can never live your life on your own terms, so that you can never live life ideally how you've always wanted you to be able to live your life, for you to be able to live your life in your image. And so it should no longer be a debate about, if these guys even care about us or whatnot. It should no longer be a debate or question, because they clearly don't. So what we need to be doing collectively as people is we need to become revolutionaries. We need to become revolutionaries. And I'm not talking about, going in the streets, rioting all over America, yelling in the street, F the Pope, F the 12, F the police. No, that's not what I'm saying. What we need to start doing in order to become revolutionaries is to start to live our lives in our image, is to start to live our lives on our own terms. Because literally it sounds so simple, but half of society is living lives that they don't actually care about. We are all living lives that we're completely miserable about. And most importantly, a lot of us are living lives that we just completely hate. And this is simply due to the fact that they're doing all of these things to keep us at a low level of consciousness, doing all of these things to keep us at a negative state of mind, because of the fact that they don't want us to live our lives how we want to be able to live our lives. They don't want us to become financially successful, and essentially they don't want us to be able to live our very best lives. This is exactly why you need to start becoming a revolutionary, by doing the exact opposite, which is you to start to live your life on your own terms, for you to start to live your life in your image. And simply put it, this is exactly why they're pushing out degeneracy. This is why they're always pushing out, all of these things so that they can keep you at a low level of consciousness. Because if you're at a low level of consciousness, that means you're never going to be able to achieve whatever it is that you want to be able to do in your life. Whether if it's becoming financially successful, a certain career, you're never going to be able to do these things because, like Neo Knowledge said, you can never expect to receive anything from heaven if you're still in the mental capacity or state of mind of hell. They're doing all these things so that you can stay at a mental capacity of hell. So you need to be able to break out of this stuff so that you can live your life on your very own terms. Become a revolutionary, right? But I'm going to go ahead and that's kind of the video. Let me know what y'all think down below in the comments. Let me know y'all thoughts, and just general stuff like that. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and end the video off that. I hope y'all enjoyed, but that's King Wellness, and I'm out.